What's going on? It's Deucin. I know you guys can see behind me my car, and I actually kind of want to turn this channel into, I guess, kind of like a car channel. Maybe make some, some videos with some other of my car homies that I'm in like a car team with, or like a car club with. Whether it be, like working on our cars together, or like going to like car meets and car shows and showing you guys all the different cool cars that are out there, or just including funny moments and stuff like that happen, just because all those guys are really cool and I really enjoy hanging out with them. Alright, so if you guys don't know exactly what kind of car this is my 2008 Honda Civic LX, or r18, whatever you want to call it. This is my first car, and it's been my only car, and as you guys can see, it's not exactly stock. I've done quite a bit of things to it over the years. It's definitely changed quite a bit, and obviously I want to share this stuff with you guys, just because like this whole car thing is a really big interest to me, and it's honestly a really huge part of my life. So I wanted to make this video obviously regarding like everything that I've done to this car and what my future plans with this car and other cars are in the future. So yeah, like I said, let me know if you guys do want to see those videos. But yeah, I wanted to discuss everything that's done to this car, and I know you guys can obviously see some things, but there are some things that are different. If you guys aren't paying attention to my Instagram, there are some things that have changed quite recently that I personally like myself. I'm trying to make my build and my car unique. Alright, so I thought it would be the best idea to start with the front of the car, and then obviously work my way back to the rear end of the car. If you guys don't know what the stock version of this car looks like, I highly recommend looking up a picture and comparing it to what the car actually looks like now, because it is completely different, if you guys could not tell. If I did have to pick my favorite part about this car, it'd honestly have to be the front of the car compared to the rear, just because it's super aggressive. It looks super mean driving down the road, and I'll throw in another clip of the car kind of driving by that I took this morning. But I know you guys can obviously see some things are definitely done to the front of the car that aren't exactly stock, and I obviously have like wheels and little like side skirts and stuff like that kind of work towards the back of the car. But yeah, I wanted to obviously discuss the specific things that are done to the car. So to start with the very bottom of the car, we have obviously the Dev Sport splitter with the little winglet add-ons and the rods, which I think look really, really sick. To make the car look really aggressive driving down the street, and it's honestly, I've had this on my car for probably about 2 years, and it's held up. I've bottomed this car out I don't know how many times, whether it be scraping it getting out of the driveway, or I don't know, just going up like a really steep driveway to go and get gas, or even the driveway at my work. This thing has held up and is honestly really, really high quality, and it's pretty cheap actually, for the how good of quality it actually is. So if you guys are an 8th gen owner and you guys are interested in like getting a front splitter, I highly recommend the Dev Sport front splitter. With these headlights, these are the Spec D halogen headlights. Right now, the only part that isn't still working are these 3 little lights that are on the inside of the headlights. Both my dad and I cannot figure out the wiring for this, so later down the line, we'll have to figure it out. But these headlights are really, really sick. I really like them. They've held up pretty well. I know there's a lot of like chips and stuff like that, and marks from like rocks and stuff, but they are plastic, so it's pretty durable. Even though I have a shit ton of scratches and stuff on it, they still look really, really good. The next thing that's different about the front is obviously the grille. This is one of the more recent things that I've changed. I actually had a white grille, which if you guys can see, it's like right there on the shelf. My dad and I actually just took this part off recently. We put this mesh like metal grill in, and it's really, really sick. And not only do we have it on the top part of the bumper, but we also have it kind of towards the radiator. I think it looks really, really sick. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much the front of the car. There's not too much else that's done to it. I know that you guys obviously saw like I had some camber when I was over on the other side of the car, which I'll get into the whole suspension setup when I get towards the rear of the car. But now moving on to, I guess we can do the wheels. So these are J&C 004 wheels. They're 16 by 10 plus 25. Now these wheels aren't super aggressive, but I do have a little bit of stretch. Now I kept the same 205/50 tires that I had on before, and the stock tires that this car actually came with were 205/55s. And obviously I wanted to go a little bit less profile on the actual tire itself. So me being me and wanting to save money, I just used the original 16-inch tires, got 16-inch wheels, and stretched it a little bit, and the car actually looks really good. But going to the side of the car now, not too much. We have the Dev Sport side skirts with the winglet add-ons. They're on both sides. I'm not gonna show you guys both sides just because it's the same thing on both sides. But these are really aggressive. Obviously not like too aggressive, but they do obviously poke out, and they flow with the front splitter, which I think is really cool. They pretty much line up like almost like perfectly from the front splitter to the side skirts, which is really cool. And also I'm working on something in the rear, just to give you guys a little hint. I should be ordering some ABS plastic or something like that that is the same material as the front splitter, along with the side skirts, and making a custom rear diffuser. So if you guys want to see that, let me know, just because I'm going to be working on that in the near future. But going towards the back of the car, I know the garage is closed just because, I don't know. I just have it closed just so my neighbors don't, look in and think I'm weird and crazy. But for the back of the car, nothing too different. I should be changing this very soon. I don't want to change like the whole thing, but there is something that's going to change about this hopefully very soon. So if you guys want to keep like an eye out for that, go follow my Instagram, because I post hints and stuff like that on there quite frequently. But to the back of the car, we have just a Skunk 2 muffler right here. We have a custom 3-inch to 2.5-inch piping all the way underneath the car. No resonator. It still has the factory cat, and it sounds really good. And obviously I included a sound clip of the car earlier in the video. But yeah, these wheels, oh my gosh, they look so good, especially when they're really clean. They're actually really dirty right now, but when they're in the sunlight, they look really good. Speaking of wheels, I need to shoot a video. I need to make a video with my boy Tristan. If you guys don't know Tristan, slammed_Malibu on Instagram, I recommend going and following him because he has one of the cleanest Malibus, if not the cleanest Malibu. I gotta give props to my boy. I've known Tristan forever, and I'm so glad to be building cars and working on cars with him, just because, he's one of my homies. So I gotta give a shout out to Tristan. If you guys didn't know, this was the emblem that I had on the front, but it started to fade. So I kept the same blue emblem. I have like this little 1.8 liter emblem. Nothing too crazy, honestly. And then just on the inside of the car, I just have like a six speed glow in the dark shift knob. But underneath the car, nothing too serious, just a tune. Skunk 2 muffler, like I said, with custom piping, factory cat, engine cold air intake, and then obviously the suspension, like what I was talking about. So the suspension on this car are max speed, full coilovers. I've had these on for probably like 2.5 years, around there, maybe 3. Don't quote me on that. And they were around $300-ish on Instagram, or not Instagram, but just on eBay or whatever. And they've held up really well. The only thing that I recommend you guys not doing, if you guys have an 8-gen, do not take the like the top piece of the rear coilover out, so that way the subframe of the car is literally just sitting on the spring, because I ended up blowing out both of my shocks in the rear, and that was terrible. So I do actually have upgraded Koni Sport shocks in the rear. along with SPC rear camber arms, SPC front camber bolts, and I'll get more in depth with how much camber I'm running both front and rear and how the whole car kind of feels and stuff like that. To get back to the camber, I'm probably running about like 1 or 2 degrees in the front, not too crazy just because I only have front camber bolts. And my camber plates on the top of the front coilovers are maxed out, so maybe like 1 to 2 degrees in the front. And with the rear, I know I showed you guys like a little bit ago, but I'm probably running about like 7-ish in the rear right now, something like that. I think I was more around like 8 or 9 before, but I don't know if I'm the only one that has trouble with this, but the plastic cover that covers the fuel neck, somewhere along the inside of the left rear fender over here, the driver's side fender, with running around like 8 or 9 degrees of camber, the tire rubs along the plastic piece, or the plastic cover along that fuel neck, which is the issue that I was having, which is why I had to change the camber. But I actually just put in, I think 32 or 34K rated Swift springs that Tristan gave me. Huge shout out to Tristan again. And it lowered the car a lot more. And I know I showed you guys a video earlier, but I probably have like about 2-finger gap from the fender to the lip of my wheel, which is sick. Pretty much everything that's done to my car, it's nothing crazy, but like I said, I should be making another video in the future regarding my future plans and stuff like that. Like what I want to do regarding this car in the future. God, I don't know why it took me so long to talk, but that's pretty much it for the car. And the suspension and stuff like that. The Swift springs that Tristan gave me, he actually bought those for his car to try and lower his car more because he just got his new wheels, which I'm absolutely in love with. But they actually raised his car. So I just finally put those in probably 2 nights ago, and they lowered the car a lot more in the rear. If you guys don't watch TJ Hunt and, you know, like Adam LZ or the Stradman or anything like that on YouTube, that's pretty much like another inspiration that I have to continue doing stuff with, you know, with my car and cars later down the line in the future. Just because like those guys are huge inspirations to me with, you know, their builds and stuff like that. So if you guys did honestly like this video, I would recommend leaving a like, subscribing if you guys are new, and if you guys do have any friends that are interested in car stuff, including yourselves, I would recommend hitting that subscribe button and maybe turning on the bell. I mean, you guys can do that if you want, but I already told you guys that I won't be uploading very, very often just because I'm away at school. But honestly, just when I can, and I wanted to share with you guys like what I've been doing on the side besides Xbox stuff now, because I don't do that anymore just because I'm too busy with school and stuff like that. And with this along the side, just because this takes up a lot of time and money. So if you guys did enjoy this video, leave a like down below. Comment any other videos you guys maybe want to see from me later down the line. But yeah, it's been Dawson or Deucin, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.